right. Can anyone hear me? All right. So let me start off by saying, wait, can anybody hear me? All right. Sergio Studios Extra live. Oh yeah, there I am. Live. Hey, everybody, how's it going? This is Sergio Dominguez with, what is this? The first ever live stream of Sergio Studios Extra. So here we go. This is my first live stream. I'm excited, nervous, but I want to give this a try. So I see a couple of people. Are people in the chat? Can anybody say hi, or let's see how this is going? Let's see, what, 1 minute in, 6 people. Good start. Good start. But yeah, hey, welcome to my first live stream. I'm Sergio Dominguez, creator of the Sergio Show and cartoonist of other videos and all that magical stuff. So yeah, I wanted to do a live stream for a while. I've seen a lot of artists and YouTubers do it, and I want to do it eventually. And I've decided, yeah, I think now's the time. So I've been, preparing myself for this. So is there anybody here in the chat? But I don't know. This is my first time doing this, so I'm not sure. Let's see, welcome to your live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. Can anyone hear me? Anyone in the chat? Let me see if I can type something. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Yes, we can hear you. Great, great. So yeah, so for this first live stream, I want to start off simple. Maybe a Q&A about the show or how I make my cartoons. And also, I'm also going to draw a little bit. So like I set this camera or this thing like this right here. Like a sketchbook and a nice little, turntable. And I'll draw some things. This is my first time, obviously, live stream. So, I've tried to prepare myself for this, but live mistakes will eventually happen. I apologize already in advance. But we'll see. Audio's all good. Great. Hey, everybody. Can hear you. Thanks. Okay, that's great. So, I guess I'll draw a cartoon version of myself. Let's see. Let me try marker. Try Sharpie marker. There we go. Yeah, drawing live is interesting. Like I'm trying to draw the best I can and calmly while I know a couple of people are watching me, like in real time. But that's really cool. This is fun. So, I've been doing this show ever since 2008. So this month, 2008. So on April 27th, the show is going to turn 12 years old, and I'm very excited for it. I've made a lot of episodes in 2019. They're all scheduled to upload, and it's all on the Sergio Show channel. So let me see if we can. Here we go. That's cute. Start off a little bit simple. Hey, everybody. Oh, there's one comment I'm looking at that that I really like, and let's just say there will be an episode that might change all that. Let me look at that. Are you seeing this upside down? You are? Well, let me see. There we go. I think I set up this stream webcam upside down. I thought it would still come out right side up if I tilted that angle. So you saw me draw upside down? Whatever. But yeah, you can see it. Audio's all good. Epic. So yeah, this is an interesting year for me for the show because yeah, the show is 12 years old. That's a good amount of time. And also, I've realized that this animated show has been around for a full decade. It's been around since the beginning and the end of the 2010s era. And it was interesting because when I started the show, um, it was what is it? It was late 20 to the late 2000s. 2008 was a crazy time, but every year's a crazy time. But when we were entering the 2010s, the animation landscape was changing in TV and films. A lot of us are already celebrating that to the 2010s 10-year anniversary, and which I get. I remember when all those 2010 animated shows were coming out. They were all really unique and great, and all of them had good runs for the most part, and they became very beloved and influenced more cartoons throughout the rest of that decade and onward. So it's funny to look back, and the show was, still the show, but like a lot of animated shows, even the newer ones of the 2010s, it was finding itself, doing different things and what's fun for me to work on and what's fun for the audience to watch. Excuse me. So it's funny to look back, but also look forward to the future. Water everywhere. So yeah, this show has been through the whole 2010s. It's been amazing. It's obviously times have changed and they keep changing. And look at us, we're in the beginning of a brand new decade, and look what we've started on a fantastic note. I hope everybody's safe out there, and I hope everybody's careful and social distancing and all that stuff. You know. So so yeah. So the show has been through changes even back then when it was only 2 years old, and here I am now. It's been almost about 12 years. I just finished not only the 200th episode, but I made technically I've made 201 episodes. I don't want to get into it, but yeah, 201 episodes are done. But all 200 episodes are scheduled to release, and they're ready to go. Hopefully, we'll have a fun summer indoors, enjoying all this content coming up. I spend the time like a lot of people who are making internet videos, making more content, especially a lot of us animators who spend our time indoors drawing, and now we have another motivation to stay indoors and draw and animate. Whoa, you have a Cintiq. Finally, with this. Finally. Oh my gosh. Let me just move this. So yeah, look, this Cintiq is a big finally for me because for a long time when I've made the show, I only used tablets like simple bamboo tablets. I've been using that since 2008 to 2018. Then I got a slightly better tablet in 2018. But in the beginning of this year, I was like, it's time. It's time for a gosh darn Cintiq. And it was such a happy moment when I got it by the end of January this year. I was so happy. It was like a baby. I set it up and I drew like crazy. And at the time when I got this, I made 198 episodes. But I promised myself that for sure this tablet was going to be used for the 200th episode because it's a momentous episode. This is a momentous occasion. I've also looked back on how much technology has improved on the show. Gosh, when I started the show, all I had was an old HP computer from 2000 and Toon Boom. Those were the only two things that for the very first episode. It built over time, but man, it was grueling. I remember it like it's yesterday, but I still want to remember it to realize how far I've come and what I need to improve on technology wise, and of course skills wise. But that was going to happen gradually through learning. But technology wise, hey, it's not just ink and pen for Sergio. Yep. Yeah, so this was like the big thing to unite all the newer technology that I've gotten over the years. You know, I've improved. I got a better computer. I got a better audio. I don't want to talk too much about it because I've also made more videos for two. I've made a lot of videos for two channels, the Sergio Show and Sergio Studios Extra, the one you're seeing right now. I've just finished a 15-part little mini series called Making the Sergio Show, where every video is every step of the process for the show. Not only will talk about how I personally make each part of the process, but I explain a little bit what has changed over the years technology-wise, like what tools have changed and what I've learned. But each video is like 2 minutes or less in a 15-part series. I don't know when that's coming out, but it should be somewhere around the summer because I want to come out around the time 20th season is coming out. So I also earlier this week just finished another video that I was looking forward to. Since I'm done with the 200th episode, and like again, I've been looking back. I've made a special video called the 50 episode era, where I explain how the show's been 200 episodes. Every 50 episodes, there was a certain thing going on in my life and within the show. You can tell those pocket of 50 episodes has their own perspective on how it's trying to entertain us and what it's trying to be and what I'm trying to do. So I've made that just now earlier this week, and that'll maybe come out also around the time because for all those videos to come out, the 200th episode has to be done and ready to go, and it will be in the summer. So honestly, how many do we have? 4. Oh my God, that's 4 more than expected. Oh man. Message retracted. I'm excited to see those making of videos. Yeah, each one is like less than 2 minutes or so, but together it's like a 30-minute video. So that's fun. So anything else in the chat? Any questions about the Sergio Show or how I make my cartoons? Well, about how I make my cartoons, I've already gone explaining in a couple of videos. But yeah, I wanted to try live stream. No, because I'm going to keep making videos, and I organize the show. I have like binders of lists. I don't want to show you this. I don't want to spoil anything. But there are some videos that I want to make, but I realize I can just easily execute this through live stream. So if this goes well, I can do more live streams on certain topics. Like now I'm doing Q&A and working on how I draw and work on the show. But I also want to show you archived drawings of the show because, over the years, everything was drawn on paper and stuff. So when I'm done with an episode or I make drawings that go into the show, I do hold on to them. And only, recently I cataloged them and put them in binders to preserve them so I can look back. And I plan to, to show them to you through YouTube videos, how I made both the Sergio Show and Sergio Studios cartoons, like Hendrik and Mr. Puppety. Is there anyone who, I always want to ask this live, any fans of the Sergio Show, but also like my other work, Hendrik and Mr. Puppety and Sketchpad Mayhem, all that stuff? Anyone out there in the chat? What happened to Evil Sergio? Oh, good question. Well, from what you know, I'm going to answer this question about Evil Sergio. Well, if you've seen his arc within that third era, 101 to 1, I think he ended in 144. He started off as this fan art that became sentient, that just lost his identity, decided to go evil, then turned into Evil Sergio and did all these evil things that I had to stop until he was completely undone through this epic battle, and he's just back to being a fan art. And that was the end, because I was honestly done with that character. I've done a lot with him, but I do ask myself, am I really done with him? And that's all I'm going to say about him. That's all I'm going to say. You just maybe have to watch the show to find out. Maybe. But I'm 200 episodes in, and I actually still have even more ideas and a lot more plans, and maybe something even bigger than the show. Something I've been hinting at since 2015. All right, we'll see. Okay. Yes, I do want to just apologize for that. I'm apologizing for something that I don't want to explain, but for people who know, I'm very sorry about that. I didn't know. I will calm down. So, you know what I'm sorry for. I apologize. There was a moment where I realized, what? Really? Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. So sorry. I'll stop. Very sorry. Sorry 100 more times. Yeah. I apologize. Oh, that was someone's talking about episode 113. Let's see. Yeah, and episode 113 was fun. I'm trying to remember that, but I like making my show very quickly. So this is one of those episodes where it's done quickly, but sometimes I do remember certain moments when I do an episode quickly. Maybe like fortunate moments in production, but a lot of unfortunate moments. I always wanted to make a video about how long does it take to make a cartoon, because that's always a frequently asked question to a lot of people in the animation industry, internet animation industry. A lot of animators are always asked, how long does it take to make a cartoon? And it's always an interesting question, but the thing about that is ultimately it always depends. It always depends how ambitious the project is, how many people you have working for you or you're working with, and how easily your personal life is going through. So unfortunate moments happen during production, like how now some unfortunate events have caused a lot of people to change production. So certain movies and projects are changing release dates and stuff. So it always depends. Obviously, movies and TV shows, they have time limits because they're obviously scheduled to. They're forced to. Money is given to make this project in a certain amount of time. But with internet animation, when it's done by independent person, by yourself, it really always depends. It always depends how fast the person can work and how smoothly their life is going and all that stuff. There were episodes of the show that were made very quickly, and some episodes that took so long. Whenever I had a moment where an episode takes super long, and it's either because of technology or me, I'm always upset with that. Like I shouldn't mention this, but well, I'm gonna say it. I got really upset with myself when the show reached 150 episodes within 10 years, because by 10 years, in my opinion, you're supposed to have 200 episodes done. But I know I'm not beating myself hard on that, really, especially now. And my show is not a TV show. The episodes are not 22 minutes. But yeah, like during that time, some things in life got in the way, but I overcame it and I recovered, and I'm actually better than ever. So thank you. So there was a point in 2019 where I just took a deep breath. I feel like I just summoned energy and I planned everything and just let it rip and just worked like crazy. And beginning of 2019 to the end of the year, I was like, oh my God, I'm making so many episodes of this show like I should be. Like I haven't had this rush of fun being this productive with my show since 2012. 2012 was the only year where I was like popping these episodes out like crazy. But these 50 episodes that you've seen so far, they've been fun to make, and I hope they still have some entertaining quality to them, even though I'm always cutting corners, because this episode is just made for enthusiasm. But I do enjoy trying to make episodes with like nothing but my imagination, what I have with my two hands, and what I've collected experience-wise, and what I've saved up on in terms of technology and tools. Episode 54 came out quickly, huh? The man of the hour. Hey, I watched it all. Okay, so yeah, I'm doing great, and I'm preparing myself for a lot more projects. You would think after doing 200 episodes and making 50 episodes that quick, I would be like, ugh. But no, I paced myself, even with making that many episodes. You know, and thanks to the new technology I've gotten the last couple of years, software, computers, the show feels a lot more authentic and felt like obviously has more experience. So I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying how the show is just coming out. Yes, the blackout episode. I don't know if I said anything in the commentary. I've made commentary for the show, and yesterday I just finished doing audio commentary for season 20. What? 20. 20. So I just did that last night, so I can catch up and want to keep making more videos. You know, so yeah. I've talked about that. Is Maximal Studios in the same universe as Sergio Studios? Yes, I love that question. I want to be sure that everything I make is in cartoons is all in the same Sergio Studios universe. You know, because Maximal Studios, I know I haven't bring it up within the show, but it first appeared in Baxwell Talent Agent. Any shout outs to that, please? Because I want to know. I do want to talk about that real quick, but Maximal Studios existed first in Baxwell Talent Agent, but that was a fun experience. Cinema Tour, crazy cartoon to make. That was also Baxwell Talent Agent and Cinema Tour were long kinds of cartoons to make, but yeah, they were fun. They were very fun. So cool that I'm streaming. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, everybody. So, what do I also want to talk? I do want to talk about my Sergio Studios cartoons, the things that are not Sergio show. Some of them Sergio show related, but you know, as much as I do put a lot of time and love to the show, I do have other ideas for other cartoons, and that's been going on for a long time. The first cartoon character I ever created, maybe after the Sergio show, was Hendrik and Mr. Puppety, and you know what? Let me draw these characters now in front of you while I try to explain. It may not come out well because it's been a while, and oh my gosh, the sketch pad is just ripping while I'm trying to turn the page. Excuse me. Let me try to explain the history of these characters while I draw, because I also wanted to make a video of how I talk about the history of Hendrik and Mr. Puppety, but I'll give like a nice history lesson on these characters. Maybe I'll do a separate stream on these characters. Yeah, I could next time, because I do have just a binder of their work of just the 5 shorts that they've been in, and there's some historical drawings too, like first ever rough drawings of them in their early years, and I can just bring up the history of that. And it's a very unique history of Hendrik and Mr. Puppety. Now, last year was their 10th anniversary since I've made them and animated them. So let me see. Let me get colored markers. Yeah, I got colored markers. That's what's up. I want to try green. Yeah, you know, green. I don't know why. With them, I associate with green, even though they have like bluish colors. So let's see. So with Hendrik and Mr. Puppety, it all started. I'm just trying to talk and draw at the same time. It all started in the summer, August of 2008. Can anyone still hear me? August of 2008. I was in a summer vacation with my family, and we went to a place where this certain there was a pre-recorded video of this one animator that he will not be named. he talked about how he combined his two loves of something, his love of something, and make it animated, turn it into a cartoon. That's how we got a certain film about talking toys. You're seeing this upside down. I apologize. Yeah, maybe so if I can move this later on, but let me just talk and explain. And that's already to a rough start with this drawing, but you know, he just combined what he loved and turned it into a cartoon. So I look back into my life and my childhood and just be like, huh, what do I like that I haven't made into a cartoon yet? And I realized I love puppets. When I was a kid, you know, I loved, you know, puppets. I had a collection of hand puppets. I always loved the hand puppets, you know, especially like the little ones, because they're always so adorable and small, and especially like the ones that don't have legs because they're so unfortunate, but they still come off so adorable. So I did think about that. I love puppets. Let me make a cartoon puppet with an owner, and I drew this gag of this little innocent hand puppet angrily yelling at his master, who was like supposed to be me-ish around my age. So I drew that, and I drew it a couple more times until you saw the finished look for it in the first Hendrik and Mr. Puppety cartoon. Originally, Mr. Puppety was called Mr. P because I thought, oh, that's such a unique name. No, it wasn't when I found later on. So the second short onward, I named him to Puppety. I Googled the word puppety, and it's, from what I can remember, it wasn't a real word on Google. So I love Mr. Puppety. He's my favorite character. I like voicing him. You know, there obviously when I create these characters, I do put a little bit of me in them. You know, not just performance-wise, but voice acting-wise. You know. So with, you know, Mr. Puppety, you know, it's a kind of puppet-sounding voice. Yeah, you kind of hear this in a couple of puppet shows where they talk kind of like this. But then I made it a little bit gravelly, but a little bit more energetic. You know, I want the character, even though he's small and just a simple puppet, I didn't want it to be that easily. So I did make him, for the most part, indestructible. Okay. Let me just get this down. Yeah. So when I made the first short, it was like for a contest at the time, but didn't make it, so I uploaded it on YouTube. Then after what, 5 years, I decided to make another short. Following up to that, like every short connects to each other in some sort of like time period wise. Maybe not the last short, or maybe the third short disconnects, but I wanted them all to connect kind of like chronologically. So look at that. I do like these characters. Hendrik, I wanted Hendrik, since, you know, Hendrik, to be a little bit like, no, Mr. Puppy, I don't want to do this. Obviously, I want them to be opposite so they can contrast. And, you know, this character hates this character, but he's stuck with him. As for why, I thought of ideas, because even though I've only made 5 shorts with them, I have thought about them for a long time, on and off. Like, I want to take these characters to another level or do more with them, but, you know, my show is still my one priority. But whenever I have time and I feel like the time is right for me to do another short, I did. Like, I love the third short that I made. That was fun. And the last 2 shorts, they were written, but I didn't really work on them until the beginning of 2019. Remember, that was the year I also made 50 episodes. I made 50 episodes and 2 more cartoons and even a video, another video where I crossed live action with animation. It was all like a beautiful, beautiful summer breeze, cranked to 100. Hendrik and Mr. Puppety. I love it. It's fun. Let's see what marker's gonna use. Let me just do. Okay, Mr. Puppety. Hendrick. Use a blue for and I know you're watching this upside down. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, I thought it would work. When I set this like webcam up so I can have it, cut to me and then cut to that and all in just one magical tilt. And I dropped the marker. Okay. And Mr. Puppety. Okay. What is it? 04, 17, 2020s. Well, we're in the 2020s already. Like, here we go. And there you have it. Hendrick and Mr. Puppety. Oh, I do want to. Oh, someone in the chat is talking about how they love the live action cartoon Sergio meet. I talked about in the commentary, and another marker fell. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Cough, cough. So, was Sergio one of Baxwell's clients? I like that question. No. If he was, he would have been famous already. Yeah, Baxwell is that skilled. I should talk about Baxwell, but I will soon. I've seen the Wilkins coffee commercials. I'm looking at some comments in the chat. If you like puppies, you like the Wilkins coffee. Oh yeah, I don't like Wilkins coffee. Well, somebody doesn't like Wilkins. I've seen those shorts online. I remember they were viral for a time. So they have their own following. And let's see. That's what Wilkins sounds like. Gravelly, but a little bit more energy. I've made 2 videos where I record the last 2 Miss Hendrick and Mr. Puppety videos. If you want to check those out. So, So yeah, look. I do want to bring this up, but it sounds ridiculous, but I got to say this. We were living in the 2020s, like when we were, ending 2019 and entering the 2020s. We got to realize we're in like some level of future, Like it was already magical enough when the 90s were ending, where the 1990s were ending, and we were entering the 2000s. Oh, the 2000 future. And we look back now 2 decades later, and it's like, oh, it's ancient. Oh, what we've improved on just as soon as that clock turned to 2000. Oh, time is insane. Can't believe I'm bringing up stuff like that. But I do want to bring up the year 2015 because, God, remember when 2015 was going to be a magical year, which it kind of was. It was a fun time. But Jesus, we thought, oh, future hoverboards, all that stuff, and it kind of was a year. It's been 5 years since that happened, and here we are in the 2020s, and we're all at home and just like live streaming and stuff. But yeah, just something I've been thinking about. Time. Who knew? So I do want to talk about what else do I have to talk about? How many minutes I'm into this live stream? Can I go for an hour? I want to go for an hour. At first I thought it was gonna be half an hour, maybe schedule later, but I do want to talk about the show a little bit more and some Sergio Studios cartoons that I've done. Is there any other questions? No. Let me get to the episode where I meet myself, because for the longest time, I've been wanted to do cross live action animation effect. I knew that was a thing that it's possible back then. There was one little animation test that I did because I used a free trial for an animation software where I can import live action footage. So I had a little animation test of it, but it was like for trials, so it was over before it started. So that was that moment. I tried very primitively by taking a video, taking a picture of each frame, bring it into Toon Boom, and put the animation over it. That was grueling. Never doing that. Technically grueling. So by 2014, I finally bought an editing software where it has a green screen effect. So I can do that effect. If I just animate my cartoons behind a green screen or a color that can be keyed out, I can finally do that effect. When I got the editing software, it did inspire more videos. I was like, oh, the possibilities, which I took advantage of. You know, I've done multiple effects with it. I've made a cross live action animation episode of the show, which was very fun. I used multiple cameras. There's a couple videos about it, commentary and stuff. And also reverse episodes. I've gotten carried away with the reverse episodes. I don't know if anybody likes my reversal episodes. I feel like they were running its course by the fourth one. So wait, did I show the fourth one? I don't think I showed the fourth one as if there was recording. But yeah, the fourth one is weak, but I make it up for it by the fifth one, which is one of the last couple of seasons I did. So, never tasted Wilkins coffee. 5 people. Oh my gosh. 3 thumbs up. You guys, you're too kind. So I'll talk about my Sergio Studios cartoons. Well, I'm done with Hendrik and Mr. Puppety. Maxwell Talent Agent was did I do commentary for that? I think so. But man, that was a character I thought of back in late 2009, but he didn't get his own official short until 2015, about 5-6 years later. Now it's been I've known this character for a decade. Only made 1 short with him because that short was this on and off thing I've done for too long. So I finally made it, but it was a long cartoon to make. A lot of effects. Well, a lot of unique moments because obviously the big difference between my show and the Sergio Studios cartoons is that with the Sergio Studios cartoons, since they're all so brand new, even though they're in the same universe, a lot of things have to be made from scratch, including the characters and settings, since it's all maybe in different locations, even though in the same universe. So a lot of things had to be drawn and re-rigged and set up from scratch. But with the show, I have the same Sergio character. Sometimes I update it, but it is a lot of reused assets, a lot of reused drawings, and rigs and character models. But there are moments where obviously I draw new props and settings. It's a new episode, so something new needs to happen. So there's always like a new element here and there in an episode. But with a short, a lot has to be put into it, a lot. And that's fine. I want to have a moment where I do take my time and make more elaborate cartoons like Cinema Tour, which we'll get to also. Let's see. Cinema Tour short was so creative and impressive. Thank you very much for saying that. Oh, we're going to get to it right now. But Maxwell Talent Agent is inspired by a lot of cartoons that I loved in the 90s. A lot of famous people who are like very manic, and a couple of characters that are known for their fun poses, if you know what I'm talking about. And also based on one 80s cartoon that I also love. If you've seen the original cut of the episodes of one certain episode, you understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, I've been working with the Sergio Studios cartoons on purpose. I do take a long time on them just because there's a lot to make out of them because it is very much from scratch for the most part. But even then, they've been quick lately just because of my just because I'm working on them really fast in the technology. With Cinema Tour, that was also a cartoon that that took a long time to make, but that was just more me developing it. It was elaborate thinking. It all started because I love theme parks. I'm a big theme park fan. I would like to be more of a part of the theme park internet community. I do like a lot of theme park stuff on Twitter and social media, along with other things. Again, I apologize again. I really apologize. But I do love theme park rides, and I want to make a video about it. Again, take what you love and turn it into a cartoon, that kind of method. So I was like, okay, I want to make a motion simulator video because I love motion simulators. I love the Simpsons ride, Back to the Future the ride, Star Tours, both versions. and I thought they were very great, and I wanted to make my own version of that. So for a long time, I was developing it, and I wanted to focus on the story first. So and the story and the characters and what could this be about? Because with theme park rides, obviously it's whatever you want and what kind of genre this is and why are you in this ride? Because I want it to be a ride. You're in a ride, you're in a tour, but what kind of tour and what's going to happen in the tour? I wanted to keep it ambitious but still simple because I don't want to destroy myself from doing something too ambitious. I wanted to balance it out and just work my way for every short do something ambitious. So in about 100 years, maybe you'll get something super cinematic. I love that question coming up. so I wanted to cinema tour to be also mixed media. I didn't want it to just be 2D puppet animation, but also stop motion. I don't think I've done hand drawn on cinema tour. Maybe some effects, but people have said this. People have kept saying this to me, and I agree. More hand-drawn animation. Anybody comment about more hand-drawn animation on my end? Excuse me. Burped, but so like a lot of people have said to me over the years, including close friends of mine, more hand-drawn animation on my cartoons and stuff like that. I've tried. Early on, I've tried, but it's technically difficult to do. And obviously it takes a long time to make. I mean, somehow I'm faster with stop motion than with hand-drawn animation. Go figure. But then again, I'm very sloppy with it. But I love being sloppy with stop motion, showing the cheats of the light flickering. Maybe you might see my hand there, but I on purpose wanted to show the strings of stop motion. But hand-drawn animation, yeah, obviously to make it takes a lot of drawings to make it look good. And sometimes Toon Boom can't handle it, or maybe I add too much or not enough. So there are moments in certain episodes where there is hand-drawn animation. Like the first example was episode 7, I think, where he's flattening each other to blow himself back up. So so the closest thing to a hand-drawn animation episode of the show was episode 141, where it's just a remake of my first episode, but it's remastered, like redone, where I improved the audio, added some scenes, but every animation is hand-drawn because I wanted to, if I'm going to hand-draw this, which will take me a time, I got to give myself a good enough project to commit myself to something like that. And I still didn't have a proper Cintiq tablet, so I still had to use the method of, I've said this a bunch of times, drawing every frame, pencil, a marker, scan it in, take them out into Toon Boom, and line them up, and they will come off looking like hand-drawn animation. But after getting this, I've done some hand-drawn work through this, and it's been fun. It's been great so far. Yeah, my throat like clears up when I talk this much, because there are moments when I do the commentaries, it's an hour of me talking straight for the most part, so it dries up and I'm talking a lot, quickly, passionately. So let's do that sometimes, very often. When I record voices for the Sergio show, it's not that much because it is dialogue for the show, and I improvise my episodes. So there are moments where I would say a line, pause, relax, and take long breaths, think of what the next line is going to be, or retake it and re-say the line. And I wouldn't get exhausted for that because it is more of just me just trying to say a line properly, and it doesn't take as long for the most part. So what else should I say? Well, there was a question I liked. Hold on. What's your favorite character on the Sergio show besides me? Oh, gosh, I like my friends Juan and Neil for sure. They're good friends. Friends ever since. We chat sometimes. He sends recordings, and we try to collaborate whenever we can. So they're both good friends and good characters. They need to be better characters. Like I do hope for more for them in the future of the show whenever they're ready and they have time. But they take their time and they're great friends. They're the best. Um, I know with other characters like there's one character coming up. Well, not really coming up. There's a character that I have in my head that I want to introduce specifically in the show that I like the design and maybe the performance, but it's in early development stages. I don't want to talk about it. It's still in early development that I really want to like because I know he's going to also be fun to perform too, but it's too early to call. Like this kind of character in this kind of episode won't happen until maybe long down the road. So I don't want to talk about that being my favorite character when it's just still here, maybe drawn out a little bit more. So what else in the chat? Do you premiere episodes of the Sergio Show to your family? Yeah, my family knows. My family knows about the show. They see it sometimes. Yeah. Not all of them. Not all of them know about my show. Not all of them see it. If there's an episode that I really want to show them, I'll show them. Like I showed my little sister episode 120, the cross live action animation one, and she liked it. I liked episode 120, the me meeting live action me. That was cute. When I'm done releasing 200, I'm gonna try to make a playlist, and my playlist I'm gonna set more playlists in the Sergio Show channel, where it's gonna be themed. Like you only get seasons, playlist seasons, but a lot of episodes of the show are themed, and some of them are my favorites, some of them are my least favorites, and that's what I want to make more playlists of once all 200 episodes are released. Like a certain streaming service has made like the so and so collection, or the best of so and so, or the so and so shows themed to this. Like I've made multiple Halloween and Christmas specials, and made some of my favorites. So I'm planning to make a more playlist, and I want to let you know what are my favorite episodes of the show so far, because I do commentaries and look through, and I'm like, that's my favorite. That was a mistake. I love this and hate this, and yeah, it's fun to look back, but I also do look forward to the future, despite what's going on right now. Oh boy, oh boy. I hope everybody's safe again. Any other questions? Wow, 5 full people in the chat. Yeah, you want to? Might finish in 12 minutes because I do have more ideas, but I don't want to like waste. Not waste them, but like skim them all through and like go through this list of ideas for streams while I am all in one video. But so far so good. This is pretty good. Yeah, my hair is a little bit of a mess. I want to do I have a lot of ideas for streams. For live streams, we're doing what's a Q&A, talking about cartoons and my work. I show you how I drew Sergio, but I never show you how to draw me exactly, and I never told you the history of the design of the show because there is a little bit of history to it. But you know what? I'll tell you some other time. I want that to be a video all on its own because I want to show you how I draw myself and different ways I draw myself, and maybe show you other designs. So I do want to do more live streaming. So far, so good. Everybody doing great? I think I got the newest like Logitech camera, and I got this. I found out the company that owns the company that makes these webcams, Logitech, bought this company, which is honestly a winning combination in my opinion, because you get the best of both worlds here in an aspect of video making and streaming. Ooh, the unedited episodes. Oh yeah, in a box somewhere. Oh God, the first 100 episodes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's gonna be still stuck in the Sergio vault. Um, what happened to me so like about 6 years ago is just was I don't want to say traumatic, but it was insane. It was intense, and lessons were learned, and mistakes were made, and I was naive. And um, I'll say this for any of you who don't remember, but in 2017 of May, I released a tweet, and it said, well, tweet and also in my other posts, the line, the wounds of the Sergio show are still healing. I never fully answered what that was. Some person messaged me, and I answered through a link of what I'm talking about. But for people who know what happened to the show, know what the wound means, and yeah, 6 years of work in 100 episodes, I had to let them go and re-edit all of them to make them more acceptable for the internet. Uh, so yeah, it was unfortunate. There was just a cut of the first 100 episodes, but done poorly because it's just introduction, a graphic saying we can't show it to you, and end. But in 2017, early 2017, I was like, okay, I gotta really look over all 100 episodes and rework all of them one at a time, piece by piece, reorganize them, and see what is acceptable animation wise and content wise, and what I have to rework and redo. And it was a lot of work. I started doing this. I started really re-editing those 100 episodes May of 2017, around the same time I released that Wounds of the Sergio Show Are Still Healing, May of 2017, and all 100 re-edited episodes were done by October of that year. It was 5 months, and those were not an easy 5 months, both professionally and personally. At the time, I was sick. I don't want to get personal, but I'll say this. I'll say these two things. During the time that I was re-editing the first 100 episodes of the show and working on season 14, I was diagnosed with diabetes. Yeah, this is how I check my blood sugar. So I'm being a little bit open with you right now. 102, that's good. That's actually really good for people who know. It needs to be about 100 or so, so it's in range. 102, that's very good. So that was an unfortunate time to find out about that while in the middle of season 14 and trying to fix this poorly damaged era of my show and my life, where I was in my late teens, early 20s. Finding out about that and trying to deal with that, it was a tough year, 2017. Also, during the time there was weather problems, and by October, while I was finishing re-editing the 100 episodes, I went to the emergency room. I had a huge kidney stone, very huge kidney stone. I forgot the size, but it was like, I think, bigger than a thumb. It was like, oh God, he showed me it was like bigger than the tip of his thumb. And that was a tough time. That hurt so much. Oh my God. It was God, those 5 months, it was like a weird sign. All these bad things, unfortunate things happening to me while re-editing a show that I know fans would not be happy about. I know what I'm doing. I think what I've done with the show, that era of the show, was the reason why the show kind of lost its momentum. Yeah, my mistake. Again, I apologize, but that was the direction I had to deal with the show, and it did. So yeah, let me just finish the kidney stone story, because yeah, it was a month of pain all throughout October. By the time I finished season 14 and re-editing 100 episodes, I couldn't really celebrate because I had a big ass stone passing through me. But it was so big that I had to go through a procedure to get rid of it. In November, once I got rid of it, I was happy. But what happened? The week of Thanksgiving, I had to go back to the emergency room. Something hit me really badly on the side of my body. And this doctor came in and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" "Because you have another kidney stone that's super big, like bigger than the previous one." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Ow." So there was another kidney stone hiding the whole time, a bigger one. And that was the week of Thanksgiving. I was like, they had to take care of that one quickly. It was a little bit tough, but by Thanksgiving, I was out of the hospital. And that was really the end of that. The year for me ended like a, but no, in late 2017, I recovered quickly and worked on the 141st episode, the special 10th anniversary hand-drawn version of the show, because I missed it. I felt better, and I was like, pick up the pace, because it was a long break from finishing season 14. So that was it. You know, I've been hinting this for a while about my health, but I'm actually doing great. You know, I needed time to myself to figure out my health and how I'm feeling and what to take and what not to take and manage. And I've been doing great. The last year or so has just been great for me health wise. So I'm good. I'm good. Just, you know, I have a couple of symptoms. You know, I'm thirsty all the time. You know, if my blood sugar goes low, my face will get red, and maybe I'll shake a teeny bit, a little bit shakes. But a juice or a granola bar, and I'm fine. So I'm keeping myself. Glad you're doing great, Sergio. You're welcome. Yeah. I usually don't talk about this, but I felt like it was about time to talk about a little bit of my health. A little bit. The fan art wall. Oh, yeah, I love that fan art wall. I don't know if fans love the fan art wall. Some people do. You know, sometimes I want to talk about, the good old days of the Sergio show. The golden age of the Sergio show was late 2012, early 2014. Before of that, when I was early 2012, because that was when I was like, all right, let's make more episodes and make them quick. And while I was making the show, I was getting, you know, fan art while making the show. That was a fun time. 2013 slowed down because of mistakes that were made in episode 100, which is a mistake I have not learned. I've learned in episode 200. My throat's dry from so much talking, but I do like talking about this. But the fan art wall. But I love the fan art wall, but when I moved, it had to come down, but I took pictures of it before I took it down. It had a good 5-year run. The question is, does the fan art wall live on in some way, shape, or form? Well, no walls here. I'm very sorry for now. But I do have all the fan art saved in my computer. When I have time, I want to print them out and put them in like a scrapbook, of course, in a scrapbook or binder, so I can flip through and just appreciate it like that. So I know that's somehow bottom of the list. You know, maybe when I get more fan art, because that slowed down. That unfortunately slowed down, but it's okay. It's okay. You know, fan art happens because somebody is inspired and likes the content or person so much that they influence to draw the character out, draw the person out in their own creative way. Sometimes adorable, sometimes insane, but you know, it happens. It happens. Yeah, fan art has just been halted, but it's okay. It's okay. I understand why. The show has changed. I've taken the show to so many directions that a lot of people couldn't stand. Maybe because the show was a product of its time. Because if you look at the original 100 episodes, they were fun. They had their fans and moments, but they were also a product of the early 2010s. Like I said, time is mean. The passage of time is so cruel. You're like, 2010 is a future. Oh God, we're in the 2020s, and the 2010s are like, oh my God. Do you use your tablet to draw? Yeah. I want to try next live stream to, like, you know, set this up here. So I want my first live stream to be simple, webcam to here or to the drawing, to my sketchbook. So next live stream, or maybe this live stream after that. Yeah. Live stream after that, probably. We'll do one where it's using the the screen capturing software where you can stream it, so you can see me draw, maybe animate in real time. You know, I do want to get to that. I do want to get to that in the future. You know, and I think I do have a lot of time in my hands since, you know, we're all just hunker down so we don't get sick. Season 19 is going to be an ironic season, honestly, because it has a weird theme to it. And it's ironic because all those episodes were made in 2019, coming out this year. So season 19 is going to be a little surreal, a little bit ironic. But they'll be coming out in what? May. So we'll see how May goes also. When I first look, would you ever make a Sergio Show Discord? I'll see. I gotta first find out what a Discord is. I keep hearing Discord. These Discords. What are they? I'll see. I'll see. So, yeah. What is there anything else I've missed? We're an hour in. Cool. We're an hour in, and I feel great. So, I'm glad you're doing great. Yeah, the show has always been a fun show, and it's always been fun for me. Yeah. So, God, is there anything else? I feel like it's a good time to end here. So, yeah, you know what? I think for the most part, it'll be a good time to end here. Maybe I'll do another stream later on very soon, but I don't know how this goes. So, I don't know. I don't want to end this, but an hour in, I think it's a good time to end. And I still have more ideas I want to set up in the future. And maybe next stream, it'll set up to the screen of the computer with the webcam in the corner, that kind of thing later on. So, you know what? I'll end it here, if that's okay with you. And we'll do another live stream. So far, it went well. We'll do another one. So, thank you very much for watching this live stream, my first one. Yeah! Cheers! I only made two. That only made 2 drawings, but you know I could make more. Yeah, maybe the next one will also be set up like this, and I'll do more drawings. But yeah, lessons learned, and this was a fun. This was a fun time. This was I knew this was gonna be fun. I had to prepare myself mentally and everything around me before I do this. So that's it. That's the first Sergio Studios Extra live stream. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned some things, and I hope you enjoyed. And I'm sorry, and thank you, and you're welcome, and all that stuff. I hope you enjoyed all this. Thank you very much for watching. So until next stream, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. I don't know. We'll see. So until next time, thank you very much for watching. I am Sergio Dominguez saying, have an animated day. Yeah. I'll end it with this baby. There you go.